Hey Dean, thanks for coming out. We're going to do a quick recap of your lesson so that you have things to key on if you get lost again. Plane line or lower plane line, upper plane line, posture line. Posture with you is key um, because unless we get you working on a new posture position or a new setup position, nothing we worked on today would even work, honestly. Spine angle at address for you is a major issue right now, and it kind of gets this whole thing. It doesn't kind of. It gets this whole thing working into positions where you just can't hit it efficiently. A lot of hands are involved in this golf swing, so um, you'll see it better. What we're talking about from the face-on view, I should have started there, but now that we're here, we're going to go with it. So the club is being lifted a little bit. We ultimately would like this club head, and these hands working up this lower plane line. So the club is being lifted a little bit, almost like you're faking a turn or not turning or coiling enough in the backswing. And that is going to create pretty steep shaft and not a lot of room for you to get the golf club back down to the ball. So hands above this secondary plane line, ultimately we're going to get where we would like this golf club more back in this space, in this slot. Face-on view will show you how we get there better. You try to drop it in and save it. This is what we're working on, or this is what we need to work on, is this spine line getting lower and closer to the target. We can clean that up at address. And that head working down towards the ball and out towards the, I can't do it in this view, I guess towards the target with that arrow, gets those arms higher than they should be and those hands working in a defensive type way. Club head's outside the hands, being swatted at. You said you fight left, going left. Club exits or club head exits low on this lower left line. Hands are working that way too. And then alligator arm or chicken wing left arm, because you're trying to hold off the hook. We'll go to the face-on view, draw a couple lines here. Again, setup, turn it. Setup change is going to be key here. This is the big one. I shouldn't even have it in green because it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. So belly button is further away from the target than the Adam's apple or than your nose. And you'll see what that causes here in a second. So pretty solid takeaway for that being, for your spine being a little tilted the wrong direction. I love the width. I love the extension away from the ball. To this point, you haven't swayed in that direction, but you will because you're out of balance. You're losing the balance game. I'm going to draw a line here because you'll see the change. If we draw 90 degrees, ultimately, if we get the tilt of the spine correct at address, we're going to have some space between the back of your head and this red line at the top of the golf swing. I'll show you in a future video or later in the video. And then because you're out of balance, you know you have to get back down to the golf ball, so you're going to move everything out in front of the golf ball, throw the hands at it, and try to make it happen. It's amazing how good your contact is for having or for being that far out in front of the ball. It's really impressive that you play between an 8 and a 10 handicap. So we went over, I did explain prior to building the robot swing what we needed to change. I gave you the idea of having the club head on your chest, shaft, face of the club head on your chest, shaft going right in between your rib cage or right down your sternum, getting into your playing position, and then tilting until the grip hits you on the inside of the left thigh, and that would be a driver tilt. So then I told you to back off a little bit and get to maybe half of it for an iron, So we're looking about like 3 or 4 degrees of tilt away from 0, meaning Adam's apple away from the target. And then having your legs or the pressure in your feet balanced 50-50. So you're just kind of trying to tilt on top of, I guess, the basement of your body. So we worked through that. And then we built you a robot swing. And again, once we get you tilting properly, we get this club and this hand, the hands working up that plane line. We talked about how the club hinges, or the wrist hinge, in more of like a thumbs up manner and not a behind you manner, or behind the hands, or I don't even know how to explain that the correct way. We worked on your turn. And then for you, in this position, you would be throwing your head and chest out at the target, where with the robot, you're not allowed to. You're not going to win a fight with this thing. So this is telling you, no, you can't be pulling, you can't be going that way with your body. It's reminding you that you need to stay back and keep that width and keep turning. And for you, you felt like your hips were out in front of you. And based on, this is a really bad, I should have recorded another one. But this is you fighting that like transition. And you can see it pulls you through. And then this is you, first swing after the robot, trying to do it a little different. So trying to get this organized differently. Not quite perfect yet. You did do a better job in later videos. I was impressed that we got here at the top of the golf swing. Slow down, Matt. All right. That we got some space, meaning that you got your head working over this back leg, or you got your spine more organized at the top. Great job there. You can see your butt's winning the race to the target now, not your head. Still sliding out in front of it a little bit, but again, first swing without any like without any drills. This is your first swing post robot, and it is different from what it was doing before. Then I explained this to you and call it the I guess House of Pain, because it's really frustrating at first. In your first video, we talked about this too. I'll draw it in red. Club would get lifted up this way because of tilt of the spine. And then the club would be swung down above this blue line. And the shaft would crash through this yellow line because the club was out and over, and you were going to be pulling your arms left and this way, and the shaft would just get in the way and crash. So this station is designed to get you an understanding of how the arms and shoulders work together to take the club away. That's PGA Tour quality takeaway when the club head hides the hands. So good. Club's working up to the top. I love the depth here. I love that it's exaggerated, meaning club head or grip is way behind shoulder here. And then trying to get you a feel of soggy arms or loose arms, or not a lot of pressure in your arms or tension in your arms, to get that thing working under this line and getting your lower half working towards the target or turning towards the target, leaving that chest behind, getting an idea of the arms can be free and loose back here, and they will follow your chest through the hitting area. And this is the big key, is that freedom or extension away from your body, something you've never been before or have had before. Again, this is an exaggerated feel. This isn't real, but it sure is a good way to give people an idea of a different loop or a different way to the ball. And then this is your first go at it post House of Pain. think we talked about this when I showed it to you the first time. Hands were a little lifty in this one. So it's starting to go up a little earlier than we want. But you do line up the face and the hands really well. Because of the lift, you don't have as... you do pretty well there with depth. Now, the head is working down a little bit too much, down towards the ball and out towards the target on this one, and you'll see the hands are going to be high, but closer to being in the slot. And again, early on in this lesson, getting you a new way to the golf ball. Big change here. Then, this is you doing a bunch of rehearsals. Awesome, the hinge is starting to work way better. In the slot, in the slot, in the slot. A little bit dumped under. Not a big deal that the club is going under the line. That just means you're throwing the hands, but you're so used to doing that.
Or do we still want to work on getting further in the slot?
Yeah, a little more depth.
A little more depth?
Yep. But if we do this, use the same numbers, get you to impact. And work these things back up. Different guy up and down in the golf swing. So hands are in the slot in the takeaway, so we've got more depth. On the right, you're lifting. This is where it gets fun. Now you're getting more patient with the arms. You're not pulling the club down. Look at the difference in shaft pitch 1. I do that every time I do a recap. 69 degrees. 58 degrees. Shaft starting to lay down. Coming from the inside. Club head's outside the hands over here. Club head's inside the hands. And then, most important, I guess, is how it exits. Watch the club head, follow this low line along with the hands, and watch the hands and club head over here on the left. Club head's going left, hands are going left on the right, club head's going down the line, and hands are going down the line on the left. And then, this is another fun one to see change. Just in setup and alone, you're a new guy. Starting to leak forward on the right, staying home on the left. Completely different body positions, and then post impact. You're down and saving and hoping.
Right.
Up and releasing. And again, lesson 1, but unbelievable improvement. Really good work today. Look forward to seeing you back.
Definitely.